A couple of weeks ago, I posted a video about a Supreme Court case, Chamel, where we answered the question whether the police can search somebody's home if they're only armed with an arrest warrant for that person. Now, in this video, we're going to answer a similar question. What if it's not even that person's home? It's somebody else's house. Can they still search it if they have an arrest warrant for a third party? The case is Steagald versus United States, and it's a Supreme Court case. The facts are rather interesting. We have a confidential informant who tells the police that Mr. Lyons, who is a fugitive on the run, can be located at a certain phone number if the police call him within the next 24 hours. So what do the police do? Instead, they decide to figure out what's the address associated with that phone number. Once they figure that out, they decide to go there and see if Mr. Lyons is at the location. But it took them 4 days instead of 24 hours to go to the location. Once they're at that home, they see two men standing in front of the house. They come up, they frisk these two men, and they figure out that neither one of them is Mr. Lyons. So then they go to the house that's directly behind them. They knock on the door, and a woman answers that home. The woman is the wife of one of those two men in front of the house. So without her consent, the police enter the home and they begin the search for Mr. Lyons. They don't find him there, probably because they're late. But instead, they do find some cocaine. So then one of the police officers sends another one to get a search warrant. The other police officer walks out of the house, and then as he's waiting for the police officer to come back with a search warrant, he enters the home again and searches it some more. So at the end of the day, we have 3 searches of the home. Only the third one has a search warrant associated with it. Now the question becomes, could the police even enter that home if they didn't have a search warrant, they didn't have exigent circumstances, and they never received consent from the woman that owned the home? All they had was an arrest warrant for Mr. Lyons, and we knew that that home did not belong to Mr. Lyons. First, the Supreme Court tells us the obvious. We have the agents relying on an arrest warrant, but instead of arresting Mr. Lyons on public street or in his home, they use this document as legal authority to enter third party's home to search for Mr. Lyons. Then the Supreme Court tells us that without exigent circumstances or consent, the agents could not enter that home. Here's the reasoning. If we allow agents to enter third parties' homes, then they could enter any person's friends, his acquaintances, or anyone else's home to search for Mr. Lyons. Well, that just would not make any sense. Police could also use an arrest warrant as pretext to really search somebody's home.
Petitioner was convicted of narcotic offenses on the basis of evidence uncovered during a search of his residence for a federal fugitive. The Fourth Amendment generally prohibits a search of a home without a warrant. The arrest warrant possessed by the officers in this case did not satisfy this requirement. It addressed only the issue of whether there was probable cause to arrest the fugitive, and therefore did not consider the central question of whether there was probable cause to believe that the fugitive was located in petitioner's home. The warrant thus failed to protect petitioner's Fourth Amendment right to be secure in his home from a forcible and unjustified intrusion by the government.
And finally, exigent circumstances as an exception to the Fourth Amendment's requirement of the warrant did not exist in this case because the agents were not in hot pursuit of Mr. Lyons. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so next time I post, you'll be first to know.